What is up, guys? My name is Jake. Thank you so much for coming to the channel today. I have one request of you before the video starts. If this provides any value for you, please hit the subscribe button and the like button below. It'd be a huge blessing for me. That being said, back to your scheduled programming. Alright, so I want to take a minute and talk about this question. Are Christians hypocrites? Right, like you've probably heard it. Maybe you've seen that little Google search where you type in Christians are, and like one of the first 5 options that pops up is hypocrites. Well, as a ministry, as Life Impact Student Ministry, we are actually going through Galatians, or we're about to go through Galatians. So I want to read this passage and talk about it very, very briefly. Galatians 2:11 through 14. But when Cephas, or Peter, came to Antioch, I opposed him, Paul, I opposed him to his face because he stood condemned. For before certain men came from James, he was sitting with the Gentiles, but when they came, he drew back and separated himself, fearing the circumcision party. And the rest of the Jews acted hypocritically along with him, so that even Barnabas was led astray by their hypocrisy. Peter, Barnabas, other Jews who we assume are believers here, but when I saw that their conduct was not in step with the truth of the gospel, I said to Cephas, Peter, before them all, if you, though a Jew, live like a Gentile and not like a Jew, how can you force Gentiles to live like Jews? All right, so I'm not going into depth in this passage specifically, but I wanted you to notice that Peter, Barnabas, and other Jews were living hypocritically. It kills me that we always talk about Christians being hypocrites. Humanity is full of hypocrisy. Like this is an obvious problem that anyone recognizes through all of humanity. This is not specifically a Christian thing. The vast difference, what should be happening in the Christian community, believers calling one another out of hypocrisy. So there's this word that I've been super passionate about, and I won't go on a rampage or a rant on it, but it's this word community. Community is a place to belong and contribute. It can't be one or the other. It has to be both. It's a place to belong. It's a place to be loved and valued and encouraged and cared for. It's a place where you walk in and people love on you. But that can't be all that it is. It also has to be a place where you are contributing back into the community. So in the same way that people are pouring into you, it is your job to pour back into them. That's what a community is. So are Christians hypocrites? Yes, Christians do hypocritical things. The difference is, in community, we are calling one another back to truth. Paul looks at Peter and Jews and Barnabas and says, you are doing something that is hypocritical of the gospel. Come back to the truth. If you are a believer and not involved in community, you can forget ever successfully living the Christian life. And yet there are exceptions where there's a missionary, or you might be the only believer in a place and God can provide extra grace. But the church is on a mission together, and you are called to be a part of the church as a whole, big C, and the church locally, small c. You are called to be a part of a community, a place to belong, and a place to contribute. Yes, Christians are hypocrites, but we call one another back to truth. I encourage you to be a part of a community and do that for one another, and allow others to do it for you. Catch you guys next time.